Come 12 rounds in the super heavyweight division. Iran the Blade Barkley and Gerrie Coetzee. Gerrie Coetzee, 42 years of age, a native of South Africa, now living here in California. And Al, he's really an interesting guy because I don't know how much he really needs to be in the ring.
Yeah, you know, he's carved out a niche for himself here in Southern California. He's been in this country about 5 years as a boxing promoter, working as behind the scenes in the sport, and got lured back into it, really, I think almost reluctantly, Bob. And here he is, though, and he says he's going to make the best of it.
And he'll be taking on Iran Barkley, 37 years of age, former three-time champion, has had eye problems. And for Barkley, now fighting at the heavyweight, you know, a lot of it has to do with some money. He needs to get some
Well, it really does. Yeah, Iran made lots of money during the course of time when he was up there in the top of the middleweight ranks, but now is in need of it. And he is a gentleman who I think has to prove he can fight at this heavyweight weight, and the question will be, can he take the power of a fighter like Coetzee?
In his last 7 bouts, his opponents have a record of 67 and 173. Meanwhile, Gerrie Coetzee back in action. Al with a closer look.
For transplanted South African Gerrie Coetzee, the glory days of his career came in the late 1970s and early 80s. After 2 unsuccessful bids for a world title, the 3rd time was the charm. In 1983, he battered Michael Dokes, and in the 10th round, the well-known power in the Coetzee right hand paid some big dividends. He would put Dokes down, and he would put him out, and he would win the WBA crown. And this was a moment whose luster is undiminished even now, 14 years later. For Gerrie Coetzee, it was a moment he won't ever forget, one that changed his boxing career.
I had that dream. I had to win a world title. And the night when I knocked out Michael Dokes, I was excited, but I tried to be myself at all times. I don't want to run away with myself and just be the same person I were before winning the world title.
But a chronic problem for the power-punching Coetzee has been injuries to his right hand, which is now smaller than his left due to extensive surgery. Gerrie's resigned to this.
A lot of people said it must be the power, that I have the strength that my hands can't stand up to it. I don't know, I think I just have brittle hands, and but it's, you know, it's been a handicap, but I can live with it.
Now at age 42, Coetzee puts aside his role as promoter and boxing entrepreneur to once again battle in the ring. In his one outing back, he beat journeyman Dan Kazmicki. But it was a win that, well, Gerrie put in perspective in line with what he's done before in the ring.
There's so many guys, old-timers back in boxing, doing well. I guess people are living longer now. And you know, I gave it a shot, and I had my first fight on January the 10th. I kind of was, you know, just not one of the best, but getting back into it, and I'm feeling really great now.
If Gerrie Coetzee has his doubters, so too does Iran Barkley, now a heavyweight, after years of battling the best in the middle and light heavyweight divisions. A lighter, younger Barkley had 2 wars with Tommy Hearns, and he won them both. No one else has ever done that. But can this 2-time world champion carry on now at age 37 and also at over 230 pounds? He knows that this is an important night for him, one that will shape what is left of his boxing career.
All I know is that I just got to beat him, do what I got to do to get to the next level. You know what I'm saying? This level here would establish me of being a true, legit heavyweight. And this is what I must do. You know what I'm saying? And when I turn around and do this, that'll make a great day for me.
Iran the Blade Barkley wants one more shot, and Al, I would think this is a tough road for him in this weight class.
It really is, and one of the wild cards tonight is the power of Gerrie Coetzee, even after the layoff and at the age of 42. Now, Coetzee talked about the problems with his right hand. 23 surgeries or fractures on the right hand. Ironically, when he came back in that fight he had in January, he broke his left hand, which was astonishing, but it's healed, and he says he's ready to go. He's just a bigger puncher probably than Iran Barkley is used to facing. And the problem is, at this bigger weight, Barkley may not be able to use any speed to act like a middleweight against a heavyweight.
Well, Coetzee said he would enjoy tonight. And you see that smile. He was really soaking it all in. He says, you know, I'm not really doing this, you know, because I have to. I'm doing it because I enjoy it at this stage of my life. He loves being in the United States. His family loves it here. And he says, I want to just have some fun.
Gerrie Coetzee has always been one of the most ingratiating and nicest guys in boxing during his heyday in the late 70s and 80s, and even since then as a boxing promoter. And when you talk to him, you do get the genuine feeling he likes the sport, and this is just another chance for him to participate in a different way.
All right, what about Iran Barkley? We've talked about him. We've heard from him. He's in the ring. It's a different mindset than Gerrie Coetzee, a very different mindset.
It really is. Iran Barkley is a guy who, as you said, needs to fight. And what he needs to do tonight is do something dramatic so he can get himself a couple of paydays still in this heavyweight division.
Former middleweight, super middleweight, and light heavyweight champion. Now he's fighting in the heavyweight bracket. For the introductions, our ring announcer, Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen in attendance and boxing fans joining us around the world, we welcome you to the Hollywood Palladium for the featured attraction of the evening, brought to you by Peter Michaels, World Wide Web Casinos, and Budweiser, the undisputed king of beers. This bout coming away is sanctioned by the World Boxing Board president and supervisor is Thomas Hogan, along with the California State Athletic Commission. The chairman is Willie Buchanan, executive director is Richard DeCure. Introducing to you our physicians, Dr. Robert and Adam Carnes, along with Dr. Alex Sinclair. Timekeeper is Debbie Garcia. Our judges scoring this bout from ringside, we have Marty Denkin, Mike Tate, and Pat Russell. Presenting to you our referee in charge of our main event, we have Robert Bird. All right, fans, here we go with our main event of the evening. 12 rounds of boxing for the vacant WBB Super Heavyweight Championship. Introducing to you first on my right, fighting out of the red corner, entering the ring wearing red trunks with white trim, fighting out of the Bronx, New York. He weighed in at 229 1/2 pounds with a record of 40 wins, 12 losses. He has 24 wins coming by way of knockout. As one of the great warriors of the ring, please welcome the former middleweight, super middleweight, and light heavyweight champion of the world, Iran Blade Barkley. And his opponent across the ring on my left, fighting out of the blue corner in this 12-round vacant super heavyweight championship bout, wearing black trunks with gold trim, fighting out of and representing Newport Beach, California. He weighed in at 253 pounds with a record of 33 wins, 5 losses, and 1 draw. He has 21 wins coming by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, continuing his comeback trail, introducing the former WBA heavyweight champion of the world, Gerrie Coetzee.
Let's take a look at the rules as governed by the WBB. That's the World Boxing Board. 3 knockdown rule in effect, standing 8 count in effect. Fighter may be saved by the bell in any round. 10-point must system and a cut rule that will go to the cards after the 4th round starts.
My commands at all times. The championship fight.
Robert Bird, the referee.
Let's do it.
We see Coetzee and Barkley. When Coetzee and Barkley step into the ring and get ready for this fight, it'll be the beginning of the answer to those questions we asked at the top of the show. Barkley, only man to beat Thomas Hearns twice. He's fought the likes of Nigel Benn, Michael Nunn, Roberto Duran, James Toney, Henry Mosk, and there's Gerrie Coetzee. He won the heavyweight championship almost 14 years ago at 215 pounds. He is 253 pounds tonight.
Well, I ran Barkley walking right to him and trying to crank up those hooks. That's probably Barkley's best punch. We may get an answer early as to whether Barkley can deal with the power of Coetzee, because he's going right to him.
In the last year, they've each defeated Dan Kosmicki. An 8-round decision for Barkley in September, and in January, a 3rd-round knockout by Coetzee. Coetzee has 4 first-round knockouts. Barkley has 7. Barkley has been knocked out 5 times. Coetzee twice.
Robert Byrd is going to have his hands full. He's already warning Coetzee about a hold'em. You know, Iran Barkley's just walking right in, and he's able to do it. But I'll tell you what, if he would just jab his way in a little bit, he'd be much more successful.
All right, break clean. Stop punching. Stop. Step back. Let's go.
Coetzee looking to counterpunch. Barkley missing with the overhand
punch
right.
It out. Your hands loose. Let's go. Let him go, Gerrie. Stop. Stop.
Approaching the midway point of round 1. Coetzee retired in 1986 after getting knocked out in the first round by Frank Bruno in England. Made a brief comeback in 1993 with 2 wins, then stepped away again for 3 years and 3 months before returning in January of this year. Barkley has a 1-year layoff on his resume from August of '89 to August of '90.
Barkley throwing that left hook, but not throwing it really in a very compact way. And there's the jab from Barkley. And Coetzee's jab. Coetzee has already, I think, established to Iran Barkley he's got some power.
Stop. Stop.
Even with a couple of those strong jabs. At least power that Barkley hasn't seen. Nice hook by Iran Barkley.
That backs up Coetzee.
Stop. Stop. I got you. Let me go.
Barkley's attack has been very one-dimensional here, doing nothing but throw the hook. Right hand by Coetzee, I think, got Barkley's attention there.
Barkley just coming in with his head forward.
Very, very uneven performance by Barkley in the way he's attacking Coetzee. Really, technique is lacking there.
Oh, he's just bull rushing and hoping that he lands a bomb. Final seconds of round 1. This one is scheduled for 12.
Here's Iran Barkley cranking up the left hook. That was his best punch probably of round 1, and he just missed with the uppercut.
Round number 2 underway. We mentioned Barkley twice fighting Hearns and Duran and Nunn and Van Horn and Toney and Moss and Sumbu Kalambe. How about Coetzee? He fought Leon Spinks.
Knocked him out in 1 round. It's a long time ago.
Look at some numbers in round 1. Close round.
Barkley landing a little bit more. I gave him the edge. There's a right hand by Coetzee. Well, it's going to be oh, there goes Barkley.
3, 4.
Well, that's a natural heavyweight against a middleweight.
Hey, you all right?
I was going to say it'll be a question of which punch does the most damage, Barkley's left hook or Coetzee's right. We got our answer.
Coetzee has 2 second-round knockouts.
Coetzee using the right hand pretty effectively, and of course that was his trademark in the old days.
Come on, guys. Push off, please. Go.
Barkley, though, weathering the storm here a little bit.
I got you.
trying the left hook. Now, only 4 of his punches in round 1 were jabs, Barkley, so he's throwing primarily the hook. That's about all he's throwing, really.
All right, come on, guys. Your hands free. Push up there.
So despite that knockdown here in round 2, Barkley's still attacking.
So hard to get a read on anything, Al. You know, Coetzee has a successful business, and he's just boxing for the heck of it almost. Barkley is on the opposite end of the spectrum. Coetzee looks like he's just enjoying himself.
I got you. Stop.
Well, Gerrie Coetzee, especially in against a man who's come up to heavyweight, he's able to kind of push him around a little bit and absorb some of those punches, and so far hasn't been hit with anything huge.
His right hand from Coetzee, not landing flush, and Barkley able to answer back. There's a left hook from Barkley.
Go.
Final seconds of round 2.
6, 5, 4. I got you.
That's the end of round 2. We'll keep it here as Gerrie Coetzee heads back to his corner, and so does Iran Barkley.
Come on, baby. You know my play. Wake up, baby. All you gotta do is move your head. How you doing? All right. Come on, baby.
Has some audio problems there, but let's show you a replay of the knockdown.
Iran Barkley walked into a right hand by Gerrie Coetzee, and that is the punch bounced off the top of his head. Again, that hit on the temple area where your equilibrium will be affected. Kind of a short chopping, right? Well, that wasn't the one that knocked him down. Oh, that one kind of grazed off the top of his head. Gerrie Coetzee continued on later. There was actually a better right hand that didn't send Barkley down, and yet another. Iran throwing those wild left hooks while he's wobbling off to the right.
And we begin round number 3 in the scheduled 12-round bout.
That was a nice hook that Barkley threw. That one was short and compact.
There's a chopping left hand from Barkley. And Gerrie gives you a smile, Al.
He looks down here and gives me a little wink and a smile, so I guess that would indicate that he is in control in there. There's the numbers you saw in the last round.
It's spelled like Gerrie, but he pronounces it like Harry.
He says Gerrie Coetzee, although Jimmy Leonard called it Gerrie, but always in the past he liked it pronounced without the J sound.
Utah Jazz, a 78 73 win over the Bulls to tie up the NBA Finals at 2 games apiece. When we are done here in Hollywood, we will bring you here on the Deuce press conference coverage from the Delta Center in Salt Lake City.
The plot is thickening in the NBA Finals. Well, Iran Barkley has hung in there despite being knocked down in the second round. And he's not getting much done offensively, but actually this has been a round in which Coetzee hasn't really done that effective work either. So who knows?
Come on, I got you. Step up. Oh.
Fans trying to rally Coetzee. Boy, he's very comfortable here in the United States. Well, it's a story about his children's first day in America. He scores a right hand on Barkley. And they're able to go to a candy store and get all the candy they wanted, and they went every day, and the freedom of living in the United States. He was thrilled about it.
He's very enamored with being here, and as you said, has worked as a promoter, also promoted a series of shows.
Let him go. Come on, no punching, no punching. Step off clean. Let's go.
The big carrot at the end of the stick here is for him is a possible fight with a Larry Holmes or somebody of that ilk, and he has to show that he's ready for that.
Come on, push off there. Let's work, guys. Your hands loose. Get loose. There you go.
I don't know that tonight we'll do that. It may.
Stop. I got you. Go.
Final 15 seconds of round 3. Scheduled for 12 rounds. Gerrie Coetzee and Iran Barkley.
All right, got a bell coming. Time!
Out of a page from the George Foreman book, Gerrie Coetzee electing to stand in between rounds. Now Barkley's corner tried to use that as inspiration, saying, look, you can't even sit down.
Yeah.
They said to Barkley, all Coetzee has is a right hand. There are the numbers.
Coetzee with a decent edge through 3 rounds.
Let's go.
Barkley is able to occasionally get in that left hook as he was a moment ago, but he's throwing that punch too wide. It's not having that huge an impact. And of course, we do have to point out, he's come up from the middleweight division, so how much power he's brought with him remains to be seen. He can get the hook in, though, and he did it again there, but he's going to have to vary his attack a little bit, I think. That was a nice hook. Now that one got Coetzee's attention.
Another left hand. That backed up Coetzee, and now a look of concern on Coetzee's face.
Iran Barkley starting to tighten up that left hook and get it in. He's doing it over a lazy left hand of Coetzee. One thing we have to take into account, even though Iran Barkley's been fighting not very good opponents in the last 7 fights, with a very big sub 500 record amongst them, the fact of the matter is he's been fighting. Coetzee hasn't been. So even just that alone is a benefit to Iran Barkley. And right now, that's part of what's showing up in this round.
Yeah, the win percentage of those 7 opponents, 28%.
Coetzee is looking for the right hand. That's all he's getting ready to throw now. But I'll tell you what, I think Gerrie Coetzee is starting to run out of gas a little bit.
Yeah.
Now, Barkley may be a bit too, but Barkley has more left right now. Oh, nice jab by Iran Barkley.
I think the one problem here is for the first 3.5 rounds, Coetzee looked like, well, I'm just enjoying kind of being back in the ring and boxing again, and it's not a bad deal, but now some of these punches are having effects on him.
I think he and his people thought Barkley would go after about the first or second right hand, and when he knocked him down, they for sure thought it. Now, Iran Barkley says, well, you know what? I remember how to throw this hook. And there's a telltale sign. Coetzee did not counter him with the right hand when Barkley was in position for it. I don't want to say those left hooks are telegraphed, but they're coming by way of Encino. And they're still landing.
Closing seconds of round 4, and that's it. They're pointing to Coetzee is standing in there.
All you gotta do is throw a few jabs right hand. No jabs right hand. We gotta do it. Okay? Who's your fight? We got nothing left.
Iran Barkley cranking up the left hooks and throwing them. There's one that landed. Then using the jab and the straight right. If he were to do more of that, he would really be successul in this bout. He needs to vary his attack a bit, but really, he's able to land those hooks no matter what. And there he throws yet another one in. In fact, 33 of 46 power punches by Barkley were landed in the last round, and you see evidence of that right here with those hooks.
An animated Victor Machado.
As Victor can be on occasion, trying to pump up Iran Barkley. I keep saying Barkley has to alter his attack and vary it a little bit, but you know what? He's landing those hooks every time he throws them, so maybe he doesn't need to. And that's the punch that knocked Tommy Hearns down a couple times, knocked him out in one fight and helped Iran beat him.
Oh, there's a good right hand that hurt Coetzee.
Coetzee hanging on now.
I got you. Stop. Stop. Let him go.
Ice coming out of Coetzee's trunks. Coetzee had told us, and so did Palomino today at the weigh-in, we're going to do this,
I got you guys. I got you.
but we're not in it to get hurt. And Coetzee may be reevaluating as this goes along.
Well, he has certainly taken a lot of shots here from Barkley, and not much offensively is coming from Coetzee. That's the one telltale sign. He isn't really throwing too much back.
Go over there. Stay there. Stay there. I got time.
Yeah, they're going to sweep the ice out because there's ice in the trunks of Coetzee, and it's been spilling out, and that's dangerous for both men.
Barkley, when he misses with those hooks, it's up to Coetzee to throw the right hand and make him pay for it, and he just seems incapable of doing it. We really haven't seen anything in the last round or so from Coetzee of an offensive nature. Coetzee has not thrown one punch yet in this round. Now one jab, and there's the second one.
3, 4.
No punch, stop.
And Barkley, as you see, his punches are very wide, so the fact that some of them are landing doesn't speak well for Coetzee's defense right now. Well, Barkley weathered that knockdown in round 2, and since then it has been his power that has made the impact.
Come on, Gerrie, hold it.
If Barkley would use his jab and throw the straight right like he did earlier in the last round, I think he would make this a whole different fight. He's just resigned himself to throwing those wide hooks. Even at his worst, Barkley always had a higher skill level than this, and so this is,
come on, get out of there. Get out. Your hands loose.
an indication of where he's gotten to as a boxer, because really those punches are not being delivered very well. And Barkley, even though he was more of a workman-type fighter, he knew how to deliver these punches.
Final seconds of round 5 as Barkley just continues to tee off on Coetzee.
Got a bat.
Barkley mixing in an overhand right that landed, and that was a good shot that sent Coetzee backwards. He's mostly thrown left hooks. In fact, only 25 of the 220 punches that Barkley has thrown are jabs, so he has completely abandoned that weapon.
Numbers in round number 5.
Barkley with the edge. Coetzee only throwing 23 punches in that round.
Al, your scorecard after 5 rounds.
As we take a look at it, I have Barkley ahead by 1 point in this bout. Coetzee winning the early portion of this fight.
I got you, stop.
Good right hand by Coetzee hurt Barkley.
Yeah, chopping.
Oh, nice hook though. Boy, just when you think Barkley has had it in this bout, he comes back.
Let's work.
Both men are tired, and really, the technique in this fight is all but gone. So I guess it's going to be a question of who has the will to get it done in terms of stamina, what there is of it, and power. And it really does boil down to the Coetzee right hand versus the Barkley left hook. Which guy can hurt the other guy and keep him hurt with either of those punches?
1 minute to go in round 6. Remember, this is scheduled for 12. This is a WBB Super Heavyweight Championship.
The prospect of this going 12 rounds is frightening. cut on the bridge of the nose of Harry Coetzee. Courtesy of some of those left hooks and right hands. There's a good right by Barkley. Every time he throws the overhand right, it's a surprise to Coetzee, and it's probably going to land because Coetzee has seen almost exclusively the left hook.
Seconds to go in round 6. The midway point of the bout. Coetzee and Barkley on the deuce.
Stop. Bell.
Welcome back to Hollywood, California. Bob Papa along with Al Bernstein. Carlos Palomino, a first-round knockout of Rene Arredondo. In our first bout, as Palomino continues his comeback against a defenseless Arredondo. And here Iran Barkley and Harry Coetzee in the ring. Round number 7 underway. Look at the punches through 6 rounds.
Barkley with an edge of about 15 punches. It's close, and there's the knockdown by Coetzee to be tossed into the fray, which gave him an extra point. So you can see this is, at this moment, a pretty close bout.
Come forward, Gerrie. Come forward.
Take a look at Al's scorecard.
Barkley ahead by 1 point, despite the knockdown round.
I concur.
Hey, come on, get loose, get loose.
Barkley keeps throwing that wide left hook, and Coetzee tries to counter in between. I don't think they want to break, truthfully. As this fight goes on here, we're already in the 7th. The fact that they made this a 12-rounder, I don't think either man's going to be happy about that once we hit about the 8th or 9th or 10th round.
Initially, Barkley said at the weigh-in he was not going to fight 12 rounds. Then when we arrived here at the arena tonight, we were told it was back to 12 rounds.
Get loose, get loose.
Coetzee said he was going to get back into some boxing and continue to promote and manage. Enjoyed it. See where it took him. I don't know if he's enjoying the answers right now. And for Barkley, where does this place him on the map?
Well, at this point, this is a very uneven, at best, performance by Barkley winning the fight, but this is not the Iran Barkley we've seen on other occasions. I mean, clearly his technique is awful tonight. He's not throwing punches very straight. He's obviously not in the greatest of condition to be a 230-some. And Coetzee, for his part, looks like a 42-year-old guy who's in his 2nd fight after a long layoff. That's about really what you can say.
Final seconds of round 7. Barkley and Coetzee, this one scheduled for 12. From the Bronx, New York, Iran Barkley, 37 years of age, 40-12, 24 knockouts, 229.5 pounds tonight. Taking on Harry Coetzee, the former WBA heavyweight champion. He weighed in at 253 pounds in the 2nd fight of his comeback.
Oh, push out clean. There you go.
And only his 3rd fight since 1986. Let me take a look at the numbers.
Barkley with an edge in the overall numbers. Not a huge edge. That's not the kind of thing you would denote some big decision. But, of course, you have to, as always, think of where the numbers are placed in a round and about. Barkley going to the body. I'll tell you what, the next guy that decides they want to go to the body a lot might be the guy that wins this fight because both are tired. And I thought that was a good idea by Iran Barkley to go downstairs.
Barkley went down in round 2. Coetzee had the better of the action in round 3. And since then, Barkley, especially in rounds 4 and 5, landed some bombs. Coetzee has not gone down
Get
yet.
loose. Push off clean. Push off clean. Let's go. Get loose.
Coetzee lands a nice little straight right hand, and Barkley lands the hook. That's really what it boils down to here. Is Barkley going to land some hooks that hurt Coetzee, or is Coetzee going to counter him with the right hand? Does either guy have that left in him?
That's the real question.
Yeah.
Is, will it happen?
Stop.
Lumbering is the word we would use right now.
Well, we started the night off with 4 questions. One was definitely answered. Rene Arredondo's career is in serious jeopardy when he was knocked out by a 2-punch combination from Carlos Palomino. And Arredondo has now been knocked out 7 times in his last 18 bouts.
Get yourself loose. Let's work. There you go. Stop. Come out. Go.
Coetzee got leverage in both those punches. That hasn't happened in about 3 rounds. Is that a portent of anything to come here? We'll see.
Well, Coetzee had mentioned maybe a Larry Holmes, even at Holmes' age, as Barkley scores. That jab would destroy him.
They better not fight Larry Holmes, ever.
That statement sums it up as we come to the end of round 8. Harry Coetzee strolls out of his corner to begin round number 9 in his scheduled 12-round super heavyweight bout as governed by an organization dubbed the World Boxing Board.
Come out.
Iran Barkley in red. Knocked down in round 2. Numbers in round 8.
Coetzee coming back, excuse me, a bit. Barkley throwing more but not landing as many. Well, now Harry Coetzee throwing jabs and straight right hands. If he keeps doing that, he would be okay. Hasn't done that for about 4 rounds.
I got you. There you go.
Somewhere he found a burst of energy. Somebody give him a Snickers bar in between rounds or something? Is he on a sugar high? What's going on here?